Battlers and thoroughbreds alike, welcome to the inaugural, the very first Origin Autopsy. And special guest, you might remember him as the pain in the ass that fucking I had to do a massive car trip down here thanks to a fucking global tech. What was it? A fucking bug or virus or whatever the hell it was. Spent, well, how many hours in the car was I with you, mate? Fucking 20 hours over 2 days or something ridiculous.
Yeah, something like that.
Mate, Tom, welcome back, Tom from Penalty Broncos Battlers. Make him welcome. How you been, brother?
Mate, thanks for the invite for this. I mean, it's a glorious day. We've got a bit of an Origin victory. You're only as good as your last game, is what I say. And so far, Queensland are on top.
Is that so? Well, I'm sure the listeners will have something different to say about that, pal. But no, you're right. Kudos to your girls. The girls literally just wrapped up after a game 3. Mac Jones. Clearly, Queensland having a bit more to play for, a bit more of a spirited performance from the Maroons. Ali Briggenshaw send off. How old is Ali now?
Mate, she is, I think,
35?
34.
34, 35?
Yeah, something around that.
Clearly, you could tell that. They had a little bit more to play for, but you know what? Going to give a massive shout out. Jessie Southwell. Now, mate, I have been banging on this drum for bloody ages. The only reason why you Queenslanders won last year is because they omitted Jessie Southwell from the Sky Blues. She was absolutely sensational. I'll be highly surprised if she doesn't pick out Women of the Series. She was incredible. Did you see that massive cutout ball that she threw? The big right to left, mate?
Yeah, mate, that was it was pretty good. I remember you banging that drum last year, up in arms about why she didn't get selected and whatnot. And she proved during the series why she should have been. That's for sure. So it'll be pretty tough to take that jersey off of her now.
Absolutely, mate. I said she's bloody Joey with a ponytail, Jessie Southwell. I just hope she brings that to the Newcastle Knights, mate. So kudos to you. But look, we're not here to talk too much about the girls series. We're here to talk about the absolute masterclass domination that the Blues put on the Maroons in their own home, Suncorp Stadium. That's right, with the Blues beating the Maroons 18 points to 6, a score which I feel like, Tom, absolutely flatters the Maroons.
Yeah, look, I've had a lot of time to process it. It's been around that 24 hours where you get your salty period out. I've had a look at the stats as well. It could have been bad. We played shocking. Like, let's not sugarcoat it. I don't know how you guys controlled the game. You did exactly what I thought you were going to do for the majority of the game. I want to know if you guys have any more in the tank. Yous do. I think yous do. Just how much more compared to if we go back, get our sources right, and have a real crack in Perth, what it'll look like. I've got a feeling that Billy doesn't change much. I feel like he uses this game as motivation. So
really,
yeah, I've got a few changes in my opinion, sort of in my new lineup for game 2, but just the way that Billy's been talking and whatnot, I feel like he's going to give the guys one more chance. Bit of a 06 Lockyer moment, I guess. DC is a lot older than what Lockyer was at that point. But it'll be, you got one more chance. Otherwise, we're doing a bit of a sweep for game 3 and for the future.
Really? See, I've got a feeling that if he does that, if he falls on that sword, it's kind of like, well, too little, too late. Like, why change in game 3? You needed to make the changes in game 2. If we go down there and absolutely spank his, and there hasn't been any sort of any response from the players around him, I'm sure all us New South Welshmen are begging for Billy to pick the same team and not make wholesale changes. Like, I can see where it's funny looking back where Laurie Daly was at last time. So his last series in 2017, how the tides have turned as far as like the crop of players. You look at the Blues now, absolutely stacked. Like, we could field nearly 2 Origin teams just about. And you look at what the Queenslanders have now, and you just don't have that plethora of just talent. 10 years ago, you guys were just sport for choice. And now Laurie finally gets to experience that.
Yeah. We were spoilt for choice, but we were also spoilt with 0 injuries.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Long period there where we just selected the same team because they were always available. We had Cam Smith, who never wore strapping tape ever, just leading us around and whatnot. So you guys, like I was going through today, and I've got the list of Queensland eligible players. Who do you bring in for certain people? We kind of have to stick with the same team. Injuries and whatnot have a few positions on lock. I mean, I'm even looking at Ezra Mann. He's available for Queensland, but do we bring him in for whatever reason at 14? If we move DCE for game 2, Dearden into 7, who plays that 14? Does Mann come straight in, or is it Kurt Mann or Ezra Mann? So, yeah, it's a tough period for us, mate. But we have done it with the Queensland's worst ever Origin team ever assembled before. So,
well, twice really. 95 and 2020, mate. Unfortunately, you do have that in you. We should never be too confident.
Hey, there is such a thing as overconfident New South Wales syndrome, for sure.
Oh, mate, I know. I've been there. Don't you worry. I've been there, pal. I've been there. But no, you're right. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll park that to the side for a second. Some wholesale changes you'd made, because let's be honest, us Blue supporters, we're not going to change a thing. We ain't changing a thing. I don't care. It's only going to be barring injury or suspension that you're remotely going to change anything in that 18-man squad, I guess you could say. I don't think you're changing a thing there. So, me personally, watching back at that game, the one thing that the Blues absolutely did that the Queenslanders failed to do, mate, was just win that power game through the middle, epitomised by just an absolutely dominant performance by Payne Haas. It was just, I just felt like once we got that momentum running through the middle, it just, obviously, the old rugby league trope battlers, once that platform is well and truly laid, and then just gave Cleary all the time and the space to do what he needed to do. I thought that was Cleary's absolutely best performance at a Blues jersey. We've been waiting and waiting for Cleary to have one of these games. We've seen Mitch Moses and Jerome Luai and these sort of guys have these breakout games, and we've just been waiting. We know Cleary's got it in him. You don't win four comps and dominate the competition for the last fucking half a decade without being, a very talented football player, but he just couldn't quite seem to bring it to the Origin arena. But I tell you what, for the Blues, it was well and truly the battle was won through the middle.
Yeah, like I said at the start, I expected you guys to do exactly what you were doing. Just Queensland, if we had a game plan, I wasn't quite sold on what it was. It seemed like we were going to try and use our sort of ability to get around yous and whatnot, kick through to Nanai. Nanai seemed to be up to it all night.
Nanai was good for you. I'll give
Nanai
you that.
was good. Yeah, he's a lock, and he's one of those players that are hit and miss as well, hot and cold, depends on what he wants to do. But yeah, I was disappointed with our defense. We had an incredible rate of missed tackles.
Would you like me to read out the missed tackles, Thomas? Would you like me to do that for you, mate? Defense, that's right. 49 missed tackles compared to the Blues, 19.
Yeah.
So, Queensland is obviously making more tackles, given our possession rate. But, 409 tackles made, and, just about 50 missed compared to the Blues, 345, but only 19 missed. So, absolutely well and truly. And, going back to what we were saying about the forwards, the only blokes I feel like in your forward pack and then absolutely hold their heads high was Big Tino and Paddy, because they really didn't have, apart from those two boys, mate, they had no help. Have you seen Mo Fotuaika's statistics?
Yeah, shocking.
Oh
4 runs.
What is that?
And his tackles were standard club tackles. Like he's getting around that 30 to 40 tackles per game at the Titans.
That is crazy, man. So 4 runs for 38 run meters in what's that? 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah. And even a guy that had featured heavily for you guys in the past, Lindsay Collins, still he had a pretty quiet night too. 8 runs, 78 run meters. It's just, apart from Paddy and Tino, looking at our boys here, just the run meters gathered. What have we got here? Payne Haas, 156 of the best. Mitchie Barnett. I thought Mitchie had a fucking phenomenal game. phenomenal.
I
Like
will.
at the ground, watching Mitch, he was fucking real good. 110 from him. Just that power game through the middle, mate. Just the Queenslanders just couldn't contain it.
Mitch was the one that was actually, I was more afraid of Mitch going into that game than Cleary because I'm a little bit skeptical and I get burnt, but I've made it quite clear. Cleary really does need to dominate rep footy, and he hasn't yet. So I'm talking at international level all the way to Origin. He hasn't done that yet, either due to injury or, whatever the issue is. So he does need to do that. So I was more afraid of Mitch. But Payne Haas, I feel like Payne Haas has done this like just year in, year out, but you guys haven't taken advantage of the platform that he builds for you guys. Whereas we finally got to see what happens when you do.
Yeah.
There was a few things there. Do I believe he's left points out? Yes, 100%. So I'm looking at Payne Haas. I've already got him earmarked. He's the GOAT as far as I'm concerned. You got your Andrew Johns, you've got your Lockyers in their positions, but I just as an all-round footballer, what Payne Haas brings, I've got him high above that. He really does need to add a couple more Origins to his belt and then go on to dominate. If he does go, and I think it's he's going to try and defect from Australia, I believe. So if he can go and win an international comp with a lower level tiered team, it just stamps it as far as I'm concerned.
Mate, I'm just so stoked. It pisses me off no end. He's a fucking Bronco. But geez, it's nice to have him wear blue. Oh, I remember when he first burst onto the scene and went, geez, this bloke, you just assume he's a Queenslander playing for the Broncos. But boy, oh boy, was I pleasantly surprised when Freddie named him. Like, oh, good. Thank Christ. But yeah, no, he was absolutely tremendous. Picked up the man of the series, or not series, the man of the game, should I say?
Man of the game. Yep.
Man of the game. It's hard to sort of debate that too much. One player that I kind of would have probably put in his stead in that place, I thought Stephen Crichton. I don't know how much more Stephen Crichton could have done. He absolutely shut down anything you guys had on your left. I know watching the game back, it was pretty apparent, wasn't it, that all the attacking football from either side was going to be on their right edge, whether it was you guys attacking with Coates, obviously the markup on Coates and Toto was something that, Billy's identified in the past and he was going to continue going that way. And on the flip side, Zach Lomax up against Val Holmes as well. It was pretty clear that Cleary was going to try and pick that. It obviously paid off for us a couple times more. But yeah, it was pretty evident pretty quickly you guys were going to try and funnel most of your attack down that right edge, hey?
It looked like we wanted to spread it wide pretty early to get to. We weren't going to beat you down the middle. It looked like we had already admitted that before the game had started. And like I'll just look in here as well. We had 27 ineffective tackles. So that coupled with our missed tackles, the first contact we weren't winning, and then we were also struggling to do the cover defense as well. So the couple of times we did spread it, and what I did, was sort of amazed is that we spread it on Bobby T. So the Gronk, for any of those that listen to our podcast, Bobby T is Robert Toyer. We've sort of nicknamed him. He's a friend of the show and whatnot. He doesn't know that yet, but Bobby T up against Latrell. It looked like they had no qualms about sending him down Latrell's channel. And I was kind of hoping they did. And I was because we all know Latrell's a bit of a confidence player. And if he, if the young fella put it over him or matched him, then I thought we could keep Latrell quiet, which to an extent we did, which I was pretty happy about. He had a great debut. Robert Toyle, he's pretty much locked in that spot. Now, he may have even caused Billy some headaches because if Murray Talangi comes back from injury, who makes way? I thought if Toya had a shit game, we'd bring Val into the centres and then Murray would go out onto that side, having played with Val before at the Cowboys. But anyway, bit of a selection headache coming ahead. So, weren't winning the battle down the middle, but love what we did on the outside. We just didn't get close enough to the line. Simple as that.
Yeah, you're right about Toya. We were having a bit of banter the day or two before, and I was sort of saying, I definitely feel like that is going to be the weakness that Loz is going to try to exploit is just this red-hot form, Latrell Mitchell, Origin Latrell Mitchell,
Yeah.
Suncorp, he's all about it against this bloke. Yeah, 10 NRL games. But credit to Toya, held his own. We did see that beautiful passage of play. Though, we see Cleary just engage that line just for a split second, shoots the ball out to his outside, and then just the silky hands. One Toya would love back, just that quick little shuffle of the ball from Trell out to Toto, over in the corner for our second try. That was pretty nice. But yeah, to an extent, I feel like he did shut down Latrell. He still had some nice touches, even though he had was it Nanai? I think Nanai absolutely nailed him with that. Then the ball popped out, which led to your only try. That one sucked a bit. But you're right. To a certain extent, you did nullify Latrell. He still had some really nice touches, but it wasn't sort of like that rampaging fucking Latrell Mitchell.
He wasn't the star of the show.
No, definitely not.
He just played his role to it. That touch on that you mentioned there. I mean, if Toya is a split second quicker, that gets shut down. It's just from the pure talent of Latrell that got through. Amazing sort of passage of play. But yeah, I was over the moon. If Toya can do that again in game 2, it'll help us greatly. But no doubt you guys will go back to the drawing board and see what you can do better. So.
Because one thing I was actually really worried about was the speed you guys have, because we really don't have like an out-and-out speedster. Like if someone were to ask me, who's the quickest Blues player on the squad? Well, I was like, man, I'd be hard-pressed to sort of name you one. But, quite evidently you guys have, the hammer sitting there. And I was like, oh, if you guys get him in any kind of space or, kick early or whatnot, he is a guy that I feel like once he's out in the open, there's no one we have. We didn't pick Pappy or anyone like that can sort of come anywhere near him. So that's why I was, giving a huge props to Stephen Crichton, because the hammer really didn't feature at all.
We didn't get him into any ball either. Like he still did 11 runs, I think it was, for about 108 meters. So I've seen a couple of chat today come out, the hammer, he's dusted. He doesn't want to play for the maroon jersey of it. We just didn't give him any ball. It's as simple as that. And when we did, Crichton, again, to his credit, actually chased down the hammer. So you don't really see that too often. So yeah, Critter, I mean, that's a good shout for Critter for man of the match for sure. I thought it was going to go, possibly to Cleary, just purely for the playmaker. He really was. I think his tackle breaks were through the roof, wasn't it? 10
tackle breaks. Yeah, I was like, geez. They do the stat adjustments. I'm like, gee, I wonder if someone's got a bit too heavy on the tackle breaks. You might see a few knocked off it, in a day, 24 hours, whatever it is, when they do the adjustments. But still standing strong with 10 tackle breaks. So he was immense. He was absolutely immense for them. You kept Moses, I feel like, somewhat quiet. He did have some nice touches. He had a really disappointing to start the second half. We'll get to that very, very shortly. The sin binning. Start the second half, we're a man down. He had that really poor fucking kick. It was just a real nothing. Much like Harry Grant's kick. Harry just put that weird kick in and just ate it up. It was just. Apart from that, was the only real sort of blip in the radar for Mitchie. I thought, he did pretty good. Apart from that, that was a real letdown. We just had to make, nail our kicks, get the end assets, nothing too flash until Brian sort of came back. But he sort of held his own for that part. But I do want to ask you, in common away, what you guys think, battlers and thoroughbreds alike, the sin binning of Brian To'o, I do not get. In State of Origin football, if that is a fucking sin bin, mate, there are plenty of other scenarios where you be chucking blokes in the bin. To me, that was the softest fucking sin binning I've ever seen. What do you want the bloke to do?
This one will be pretty contentious, because there has been in Clubland this year situations like that where you have gone to the bin, given that it is Origin. And there's also been contentious in Clubland where it has resulted in a sin binning, and it's a split second. Like you can't, there's nothing you can do about it.
Nah.
I'm going to say it was a sin bin, purely, maybe I've got maroon colored glasses on at the moment, but purely just because of try scoring, we're going for a try here. To'o he's gone up to contest it 100%, except as he's gone down, he has wrapped him in the air. I would have preferred a penalty try, to be honest, rather than a sin bin.
Of course you would have. Of course you would have, mate.
But I don't know. I feel like, and the only reason I say it is because I feel like if it was the other way around, I could see why we got sent to a sin bin. I'd be like, okay, we stuffed up there. So yeah, that's my opinion on
Mate,
that
I
one.
just had flashbacks of fucking Joseph Suaalii and Reece Walsh. I'm just sitting there going, oh, for fuck's sake, is this it? We didn't come out in the second half. Queensland going to put 2 or 3 on us, maybe get the lead, and we just go,
You're a bit cheeky because he got the time off while we kicked the penalty conversion.
Good.
Even though the game clock, because I believe, the sin bin clock is different to the game clock.
Fucking half time fucking should have counted. Brian, while we're on the subject of Brian Toto, this was crazy. I know 20 minutes, there was still 20 minutes to go in the game. Zach Lomax, I think, was leading at that point in time. I think he was on 188 run meters. Brian Toto was sitting on about 150. Brian Toto with 10 minutes still in the bin, right? He was 10 minutes out of the game, still managed to amass, where is he? Where's our boy Brian Toto? 225 of the best. Yeah. 225, 21 runs for 225, 75 post-contact meters, got the tackle break, got the line break, 2 offloads, 2 tackles, 2 missed. Did have the 2 errors, had a bit of a mixed bag in that regard, but just like, holy shit, we on our podcast, Greggy Mars, who's always of a talking point, and we always try and say, to me, Brian Toto is out and out the best winger in the comp. And when you're posting numbers like that, it's hard to disagree, especially in the modern game, just the yardage stuff. And Greggy's sort of what we feel like, especially in 2023, was the closest thing we ever got to a Brian Toto type player. At that point in time, I think he was right, averaging just about 200. He was maybe a meter or 2 averaging just off Brian Toto. It was insane. But boy, oh boy, like what a player to come in. As I said, 20 minutes ago, Zach Lomax had it on him, and he still managed to run him down. I thought that was absolutely insane from Brian Toto.
Yeah, it's fucking good stuff. Unfortunately, I can't even pin that. He should have been in a maroon jersey, mate. As far as we're concerned up here, Toto.
What is that?
Surely, if we can get Greg English, surely we can get Toto. But no, that's Brian's been doing that for years.
Yeah,
like that's sort of part and parcel. That's what you got to expect. If you can shut Brian down, you've done a great job.
I'm yet to see anyone who really can or has.
He's too slippery. He's a great finisher, great backline movement finisher, and his getting out of trouble yardage just perfect. You can't ask for any more. So
now, Tom, I'm going to spring a little surprise on you here, pal. I put the call out, and I've got some absolute VIB content creators who I reached out to and said, you know what? I need your help, boys. Get on the voicemails and lend me your support. Let's just double down on the fucking Maroons and really pile onto them. So we're going to kick it off. We're going to kick it off, and this to me sums up where fucking Queenslanders are right now. This just epitomizes it. Let's kick it off with our first one here from our boy Retro.
Hey, Link, producer Lou. Retro here from Retro Rugby League. I don't know if you caught the game last night, but up the Blues, of course. But you may have also seen in both the lead up and also being on the field, Spencer Leniu was just going off his head. Like as soon as he arrived into the stadium, straight up warming up, straight over to the crowd, just giving it to him. And then, of course, got on the field, wanted that kickoff, and then went the other way. My question is, have Queensland always been cats or just became cats last night? Anyway, thanks. Bye.
So I throw to you, Tom. How long have you guys been cats for?
Mate, that's a bit shifty. That's a bit over the boat from a closet Roosters fan, I reckon.
He's not a closet one, mate. He's proud. If it was a Roosters Mardi Gras, fucking Retro there, pal. Mate,
I loved it.
One of the great Origin moments. We're all sitting there. I'm telling you, mate.
I loved it, mate.
The name on everyone's lips was Spencer. When Spencer getting on, you saw him tearing down the side. He was fucking getting the crowd going. My brother Kurt, he had the big. He was hoping only because Jonathan Thurston might be getting around. He had the big. He bought a Leniu head. He's not even a Rooster supporter. He's a Raider supporter, but he went out and bought one of those bloody Spencer Leniu heads, and he's waving that in the crowd. And we were all waiting for it. We said, Spencer's on. Let's go. And you cats decided, no. We don't want that heat. Let's go kick the other side. What a letdown. Who
mate,
and why was that decision made?
Mate, that is just how much we hate Spencer. Mate, you don't get to play
Is
our
that
game.
hate or fear? I feel like it's more fear. I think you're trying to mask your fear with hatred.
100%. It was a hatred move. We're like, righto, we see you, Spencer. We're just going to kick over here, mate. That's right. You take the second run. All good.
See, I don't buy that. I feel like there was definitely I think you guys were shitting bricks because Spencer Lenu has absolutely dominated you guys in the past. And I just like, why? Why did someone not want to go toe-to-toe? Why wasn't like Tino or I can't remember what Ford was on there, Paddy or whoever it was, like, no, you fucking kick it to that motherfucker. He's mine. No one did it. It was one of the great letdowns, mate. Everyone was just like, oh.
No, I liked it. Don't bring him into the game on his terms. Let him come in. Let him come into the game on our terms. And they say
Queenslanders get Origin, mate. Fucking Tommy Rodonic would be rolling in his fucking grave if a Blues player did that. Dead set. Unbelievable. Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it doesn't end there, mate. No, I've got more backup. Matty G, what do you got, big dog?
Hey, legend. It's 5:42 p.m. Or as they call it in Queensland, 18-6. Up the fucking Blues. How fucking good was last night? God, I love being a New South Welshman. Nothing's better. Nothing is better. Imagine being a fucking Queenslander. Can't even win at your own home. They just don't get Origin, brother.
Oh, Matty G, I love you, my man. How good's this, hey?
Where was that energy in the 8 in a row period?
Hey?
Yeah. Where was that energy in the 8 in a row period?
No, that's the past. We're living now, mate. We're not doing a fucking an Origin autopsy, fucking whatever that. How many years ago that was, pal? We're here and now. All right, this one's fucking brilliant. Our boy Hainsey caught up with our boy Hainsey last night. What do you got?
Big dog?
Yeah, g'day, Battlers. It's Hainsey here. Now, I just want to speak on behalf of Lincoln and myself as New South Welshmans living in Queensland. I just got to say, it is a beautiful day to be in Queensland right now.
Fucking
it's
earth.
miserable. The sun isn't out. Queenslanders are in hiding. New South Wales 1-0 up in the series. Queensland are in disarray. It's a great time to be alive. I'm sensing a sweep. I'm sensing a sweep, and I'm also sensing a Blues dynasty where we can win 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9 in a row. But I just can't see Queensland improving over the next couple of years. This is our time to start an era of dominance. It's a great time to be a New South Wales when Queensland just don't get Origin anymore. They don't. They lost their Queensland spirit. Like, they're cats. They didn't even want to kick a Spencer last night. And they all hyped up as enemy number one. They're going to smash him. They didn't even kick to him. They were that scared of him. But hope you're having a great day, Lincoln. I know I am, and I hope the Battlers are too. New South Wales up 1-0 in the series. Get up, get amongst it.
Fuck
Great
yeah,
time to be a
Hainsey.
New South Welshman.
Fuck yeah, Hainsey. Love you, mate.
Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
fucking, he's speechless, Hainsey. You've left this Queensland absolutely fucking speechless.
You know, the best thing about the quality of our screens these days is we're going to be able to watch the overconfident New South Wales syndrome in 4K.
Really?
We are going to do this every other game, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, mate. Fucking
Oh,
yeah,
mate.
we're locked in, mate. Contracts have been signed. We're locked in.
I can't wait for the next game.
The dynasty.
I tell you what, I have noticed in the chat as well,
Mhm.
and now that we're onto this, can't wait for the next game. What we're doing here, I feel like what we're doing here is more build-up for Game 2 than whatever happened for Game 1. I don't know how you felt, Link, but I know I can get myself up for Origin pretty easily. As soon as I wake up on the Wednesday morning, I'm locked in.
You don't even need Origin Viagra, mate. You're all
I
natural.
don't need it. Nah, I'm skipping the blue pill and going straight to fucking Maroon, mate. And I just feel like I know Latrell and I know Spencer had a media ban. I mean, we want to talk about cats. You know, Spencer doesn't even want to bloody get on Facebook. But I feel like we could do better to promote the game. It just wasn't there.
Daniel did say the build-up and hype was almost non-existent this year.
Yeah, it was shocking.
Do you know why that is, though? Do you know why? And that's
Why?
because your coach, this is where you're going to be so conflicted, mate. Your now coach, Madge, absolutely dominated Billy off the
here
field, the
we
whole
go.
glass
Well,
house.
that's why we should do it again.
We're Queenslanders, and look what it did to you. I think Billy set the tone and going, you know what? I'm not going to say any dumb shit anymore. I'm not going to make any dumb comments because, Loz has gone to the school of shit talking with Madge, and he's just not going to fuck around because Billy fucked around last year and he found out in a big way.
Mate, I'd love it. I'd love the coaches and everything to not get fined during Origin for their comments. Just open the floodgates. Do it. I'd love to see
I
it.
asked this. I was at a I might have told this story before on the podcast. I got invited to it was a double header. It was a Melbourne Storm fucking members event in the week bastards. They couldn't even sell enough tickets to this corporate membership. They reached out to other people and mates of mine who are Melbourne supporters. I'm like, Link, you want to come along to this thing? I said, yeah, fucking oath, I'll come, but I'm not wearing fucking purple. Anyway, so I'll stroll along into my my Knights kit and all that. So there's all these other purple wankers. I'm the only non-Storm supporter at this thing. And anyways, I'm on the piss with oh God, his name escapes me at the moment. He was Blues forward, played for the fucking 10 points the first battler who can name him. His name escapes me at the minute. Played for the Blues. He was the bloke that fell off the horse in 99, remember? Remember that fucking Blues camp and he fell off the fucking horse? Played for the Storm. I can see his face. I can't remember his name. Anyways, Mick Crocker was there. It was a great night. And anyways, they were telling me this story when Mick Crocker was at the Roosters. And I was like, mate, why don't you see shit talking anymore? Why don't you see like Payne Haas just, says, you know what, I'm going to go fucking rip Lindsay Collins' head off when we play him in Sydney next week and all this shit, just shit talking, right? And he's like, I'll tell you why. He goes, Ricky hated it for the fact he didn't want to give his opposition anything, right? Don't give him any fucking motivation. Robbie Kearns, that's him. 10 points to you, Tony. Yeah. Robbie Kearns. Anyways, so, and what would happen, even if it was the slightest little fucking thing, whatever it was, Mick Crocker's like, what Ricky would do, he'd go down the news fucking agent and go buy all the papers. And he goes, you'd wake up in your motel room and do a paper on your door with these fucking quotes highlighted. And Ricky's like, fuck, boys, look what they're saying about you. He goes, mate, you give them an inch, they'll take a fucking mile. You can twist these words and rugby league players will fire them up. So I can understand the psychology side of thing, why you don't want to go out there and say, Willie Mason was great. Willie used to say all sorts of fucking shit. It was great.
Backfired on Willie too in a few occasions, especially up against
so you can see why maybe some people are a bit like, oh, don't want to go there. But it does add to the theatre of Origin, doesn't it? Like, shit talking should absolutely be written into the contracts. Like, you get fined if you don't say some shit about the other team, right?
Yeah.
You know what
100%.
I mean? Fucking oath.
Christopher made a good point. There was no build-up because all the footy talk was about Galvin and the Bulldogs.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And Gus.
More about Gus than anything. I feel like Galvin got overshadowed by fucking Gus.
Mate, master move by Gus on that. Media manipulation at its finest. He just took all the heat, and instead of talking, like, we started talking about Galvin, obviously, but then it was straight up, what's Gus doing? Why is he there? And then we forgot about the whole, there wasn't much chat around it. So hats off to Gus for playing the game. He's been in it long enough.
Yeah, certainly has been. All right, well, let's doesn't end there, Battlers. Let's take another voicemail here from
G'day, Battler. Troy here from the Parakeet podcast. Great to see that we're on the same wavelength and cheering on the mighty New South Wales Blues. How good a victory was that last night against Queensland in their own backyard, Suncorp Stadium, their own house. How good did the Para boys play? Mitch Moses and Zach Lomax. Zach getting 2 tries, 2 meat pies, and Mitchell Moses, his defense, how good, try-saving tackles. Some say his defense has been lacking over the last few years, but he has turned the corner. He is a defensive machine. How good in the number 6 was Mitchell. But Zach, was he the player of the match, or was it Payne Haas? Now, Payne, he did all right too, especially in that first half. But, he has a motor on him. Love to see him at Parramatta. Anyway, Battler, keep up the great work. Hope to catch up soon. And go Para. Our attention now turns to the Battle of the West. That is our paradise. That is our home, Penrith. Combank Stadium is our home. It is our paradise. See you later, Battler.
On you, Troy. Hey, you had a great night. I'd say Mitchy Moses doing his thing. Fucking Zach Attack getting the fucking 2 tries. Isn't the one great thing with Origin? This is what, Hainsey and I were talking about. Is, all these different clubs. He's obviously a Rooster supporter. Winston was there, repping the Bulldogs, all this. But we can put that shit aside for 3 nights a year and just all be on the same fucking page. We all wear the same jersey. Does this happen for Queenslanders so much? Do you like gather around your Cowboy brothers, or if you can find a Titan supporter, if there is one? Does that happen?
I think there's only two, isn't there?
New South Welshmen, it is just a united front. We fucking love it.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, Cowboys. I mean, I'm not a great fan of the Cowboys, but hey, we'll have JT in our squad to dominate you guys every other day of the week. Not loving a fan that Katoa is in New South Wales from the Dolphins there, so it might be a little bit tough for me to get around the Dolphin supporters when it comes to Origin. But yeah, it's a little bit. I mean, we got less teams up here as well, buddy.
It should be easier for you. The rest of you should be more of that siege mentality.
Well, we don't look as formidable, mate. You know, when there's four of us sitting there in a crowd, but you guys have got the rest of the squad down there. It looks a lot bigger than us. So, it's good to see that you guys, mate. It's good to see that you guys get along with one another every now and then. That's for sure.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Well, it
doesn't change for us. It doesn't change for us and you though. I hate you every other day of the week.
Yeah,
wearing a Knights jersey, wearing a Blues jersey.
It's fucking mutual feelings, pal. The 88 Cup is still up for grabs, mate. I haven't fucking forgot. Don't you worry.
It's not up for grabs. I've got it here. What are you talking about?
Why is Stephen Crichton actually the greatest centre of all time? Now, if we're being realistic, maybe he's not the greatest centre of all time because Greg Inglis probably is. But you could argue he's the greatest out-and-out centre because Greg Inglis also played fullback and in the halves. Stephen Crichton's defence last night, especially in that 10-minute period where he was defending by himself because Lomax went to the other side of the field, he didn't even look like he was going to leak a point. And that's just his defence. Also, the tries he set up for Lomax, he had an absolute blinder. He was also robbed of player of the match. But Stephen Crichton, take a bow. He is the greatest out-and-out centre of all time. There, I said it.
Winston Neville making a big call. Well, I tell you what, he's no Brady Best, but he goes fucking pretty good. He goes pretty good. Seriously, Stephen Crichton, man, what a masterclass in defense. Just shut down. Like, what do we keep saying about what the Hammer did to our boy Tommy Turbo? You know, he famously shut down a rampaging fucking Tommy Turbo. Well, it's kind of flipped now. You know, Hammer was pretty much nullified in this game by Stephen Crichton. And, you know, what typified it, even though you guys scored off the very next set, I got my ass right out of seat, was that shift out to the left, and then Crichton holds it up, and then Cleary comes in, a couple of other boys, and just fucking, who was it they dragged down? Was it Val or was it the Hammer?
Hammer, I believe.
Was it Hammer? Yeah, dragged him over. And I was like, fuck yes, boys. I think that was pretty early into the second half. Kept turning.
I'm probably wrong. Somebody correct me there. It could have been Val.
Could have been Val. Anyways, regardless, it was one of those tipping points. I was like, oh, so good. And then, unfortunately, because that was that period of time, Christ, we just kept inviting. I think it was who was he? Had Trell, obviously the Trell one, he knocked it on. And was it Zach Lomax? I think Lomax spilled the beans there too. Just, you know, constantly giving you guys all the opportunity in the red zone. Now, one player I do want to talk about, it's going to be a very much for me to bat for this guy quite a bit. He's faced the walls, and I'm talking about none other than our captain, Dally M winner, Kalen Ponga. Now, coming into this game, I feel like it was a damned if you do, damned if you don't. If he comes out and absolutely kills it for Queensland, all the battlers have got their pitchforks out and go, why the fuck aren't you doing that for us? But then on the flip side, if he plays a really bad game, they're sitting there going, see, he's having a shit year. Why did he get picked? Blah, 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 blah. So the question I want to ask you, because, you know, I'm going to have maybe a little bit more of a biased opinion. This is going to be interesting as a Knights supporter talking about Kalen Ponga in Origin and a Queensland supporter talking about Kalen Ponga in Origin. What did you make of what KP brought to the table come game one?
I was skeptical for the selection, but then I had a look who else were we going to pick, to be honest. There was chat Munster going back to fullback. Cobbo, obviously, his name popped up. But I was pretty happy with what Ponga did. I feel like we struggled to get him in good ball. If we had done that, he was in a mood, and he could have very well changed the game. To be honest, if you ask me, mate, he's just agitating for a release from the Knights. He just wants out.
Hey. Mate, I've got to put up with these fucking questions like 3 nights a week, pal. I'm taking a night off for those. Yeah, here I am getting all elated. I'm back at Milton Station, and this bloke sending me shit like, oh, KP's trying to agitate for a he's just like, mate, just let a bloke have a fucking Origin win in peace. Trying to fucking throw me off the scent, hey?
Well, what did you think? How do you think he went? Do you
I'm
reckon he
with you,
played
mate.
right?
I'm with you. Much like a game against the Eels we played, there was a lot of people that are up in arms because, again, I think so many people are wanting the 2023 Kalen Ponga, where he had the Midas touch. Everything he touched turned the goal. There was points just in and around him. I do feel like he's playing busted. You know, I think, what was it?
Yeah.
You could probably speak to it a little bit more. What was did he try? Was there a couple of training sessions he did miss? Because I know he's definitely got some rib cartilage shit going on, and there's nothing you can do with that apart from pain management. But yeah, was there? Did he sit out any of them, or did he pretty much train the whole time?
So much like the Crichton quad theory, I think that was all mind games with Critter, but I feel like it was the same with KP. He's definitely got cartilage injuries to his ribs and whatnot. Like he's been playing with you guys and getting needled up and whatnot. I just find it weird that he sat out for the 15 minutes that the press was allowed to be at the training, and then they were shuffled out of the stadium so they have a closed door training. I reckon he trained in those minutes, and it was just a bit of a media beat up, to be fair. Because didn't they come out and say it was a quad or a cork or something?
I can't
think
remember.
that's what
I think it was a leg injury.
Some leg injury that they put it down to. I'm like, no, we all know he's got rib injury.
Yeah.
So, I can't see it being anything else other than a bit of a beat up, typical sort of press stuff.
Well, Kalen Ponga, what
certainly didn't play like it.
21 runs, 163 run meters, 46 post contact, got the 3 tackle breaks, 4 tackles, only 1 miss, 2 kicks, 40 meters, got the 1 error. Again, I attribute it to much like what we've seen Kalen Ponga with the Knights. I don't know how much more, it was very similar because a lot of us were sitting there thinking, oh, well, he's going to be playing again with quality players, and obviously, you pluck up a great player and put him among other great players, they're going to flourish. They're going to bring out the best of them. You get the world's best going head to head, but kind of very similar to what the Newcastle Knights have faced. If there's not a lot going in and around him, what more do you want him to do? I thought in the last 20 minutes, he was probably the player that put up the hand for you guys the most. There was that really good kick. I wish I'd seen more kicks like from him at the Knights. It wasn't massive in the greater context of the game, but cast your mind back. It was the set or two prior to Toto sin binning. Just a normal sort of chip kick. Nano got, I think, disrupted the balling. It was Edwards who tried to go for it.
Yeah,
and that was the knock on. And then you guys had that set, and then I think it was that from that play. Then you guys go on, and Coates could have very well scored off the back of what KP brought. But yeah, I just thought it was a guy that really had no forward momentum. His halves, like I'll get your opinions on DCE and Munster. Those two fucking, you could have forgotten even Cameron Munster was fucking out there. There's certainly no creativity in and around him. I don't know what more you'd really want from him. As I said, your left edge was completely shut down. That's KP's preferred side. So all us Knights supporters know the left side of Brady Best and Greggy Marzu's, the right to left pass is sort of more his forte. But yeah, I think it was just a guy just trying to will his way to try and get some points. It was actually pretty funny looking at it. It was like, shit, it's kind of like watching him at the Knights, really. There's similarities. He's back into a team that's struggling to score points. It's discombobulated. It's clunky. But moving on from Kalen Ponga, your halves. What are you making there? Because there's been a lot of criticism around DCE, thinking, the great Joey Johns, the greatest to ever do it, the 8th immortal, he believes, as does Shawnee Johnson. He reckons too, it's time to move on from Daly Cherry Evans. What are your thoughts there, mate, on DCE's overall performance? Do you think they're a little bit too harsh? Do you think they're quite warranted, or?
No, I think they are warranted. I think if you're going to play a game like that in Origin with that result, you're going to get that sort of criticism regardless of who you are. The fact that it's DCE is a little bit more because he has done what he's done with that Origin team in the past. And it just wasn't there. I don't know. He is at the back end. I haven't got him in my game 2 team. I think it's time to move on. I just feel like after watching the press conference and whatnot, where Billy's sort of hinting that there won't be mass changes or any changes. And, DC, the reporter just flat out asked him, hey, do you want a chance to rectify this in game 2? And he's like, yeah, 100%. I think we all should be there and whatnot. So I think Billy will give him game 2 to say this could very well be your last hurrah. You need to go out there and show that you want to be there in game 3. And then that will most likely, we're looking at the last season of DCE. Anyway, I don't know if he's going to sign with anyone in Clubland. But yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. Mate, he's 36. He's a 1989 baby. Like, he's doing well. But yeah, do you want to go through another preseason? All that sort of stuff. But I feel like DC had a very poor game. I don't agree with Munster being. I definitely saw Munster. He was getting in there, being a mongrel.
Really? See, I didn't see much of him. Maybe it's just because some of this incredible stuff that Munster's done, unfortunately to us Blues supporters, just some single-handed freakish fucking shit, which, is really what you guys needed. You guys needed one of those plays, 20 minutes before full time just to spark something. You're closing the gap and you're going, oh, fuck, here comes Queensland once more. But, I don't know. I was sort of watching going, I don't – particularly there was a set, I think it was your last set or second last set, and you guys just had the most nothing fucking set out of your own end. I think you barely made 20 meters, and Munster just puts this flat fucking, I don't know what sort of kick you'd call it. Latrell just eats it completely unmarked. It was just the most, Billy would have thought it would have been the most disappointing set. You're well and truly racing the clock at that point. Okay, I'm very surprised you said that, because not that he had a poor game, but I thought he just didn't influence the game at all.
If you're going off of the plays where Munster doesn't even know what he's doing, he was trying to do that, you could see, but he was just getting swallowed up in defense, or there was no one supporting him and whatnot. But again, he kicked more than DCE. And from both teams, the kicking I thought was really great. All game, both teams had great kicking games. Yeah, there was that one.
That one shocker. That was pretty bad.
There was a 7.
You got to do better than that.
Are you talking about that 7-tackle set?
Yeah, as I said, I think it was our first set. I'm like, can't be doing that shit. Not an Origin.
It. But Munster was booting them. Like he was getting us out of trouble a lot. And normally that's the DCE role. He's got that big boot that just, even if you guys keep us in our 30, when he kicks, you guys are receiving it on the 20. Our line speed, we get up there, and then you guys start, basically in your end a fair way. So that was let down. And I can't help, my hope as a Maroons supporter is that they'll go back to the drawing board, watch tape, identify, and then we'll have another crack at it, because I think we have a lot of improvement. I think there's a few people that were stunned with how we did play. It was lower than most expectations. And I think if we do get it right in game 2, we can give you guys certainly a good go at it. Especially if we hit the lead. If we hit the lead, I do believe that we can defend our way to a win. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm a bit more, and I'm saying this all sincerity. I don't mean just because I'm a Blues supporter, but I don't know, man. I just I don't know. It's surely it's alarm bells. Game 1, Suncorp Stadium. I don't know. You just look flat.
That's what I mean. But that's what I mean.
Certainly flattages. Like looking at the score on the screen now, 18-6, you go, okay, it's one of those kind of games. But, this could have been a 20-2 fucking lead at halftime. In Origin is insane. Absolutely insane.
Well,
because, mate, I tell you what, Payne has better get the fucking kicking duties in game 2, because, Jesus Christ, Cleary or Lomax couldn't kick one to save their bloody life.
I did see Andrew Johns ask someone to go down and check the balls, because he was certainly curious about them. And it was a bit weird. It wasn't tricky conditions. I thought some of those kicks they should have definitely been doing. Lomax definitely should have kicked that one that he missed for sure. And Cleary, I mean, I'll always say I'll let Adam Reynolds kick for my life because he's just ridiculous. But Cleary missing him from the sideline that often was a bit of a shock as well. But like the first half was 2 points to 14 to you guys. Add on the missed conversions if you want to do that. But at the end of the day, the second half was 4-all. So if we if we clean up that defense, like if we clean that muck up, that's where I think that we get it over you guys. Whether we frustrate yous into mistakes or what, but yeah.
Geez, you're going to have to get more from your forwards. In all honesty, that was your biggest disparity in the game. The backs against the backs, the spine against the spine, the forwards against the forwards.
Yeah,
absolutely, unequivocally, your forwards let you down immensely. As I said, Mo Fodawaker, you put a fucking spotlight at him, and he pretty much epitomises how poorly the Queenslanders actually played through the middle. And then we just built off everything off the back of what Payne Haas, Yowie, Barney, fucking Spencer.
Yo played great. Yo had a good shout to be man of the match, mate.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. He's another guy that falls victim to. He's just so consistent. You just know what you're going to get from Yowie, where it's like you're saying with Payne. The fact he keeps breaking these run meters, you're like, that's just, you know what I mean? You get into this sense of, that's just what Payne does. You sort of forget, fuck, these are absolutely insane numbers. It's just so consistent. And that's what Yowie is at this point in his career. Great selection from Loz to make him now captain. I think that was a bit of a fucking masterstroke. But he's absolutely killing it. One guy I thought had a bit of an off game, certainly for you, and I feel like we got the better of you. It was in the hooker role. I thought Reece Robson was fucking fantastic. Played some real eyes up footy, something you're not really used to seeing from Reece. I think he's more of a tackle your dick off, great service, not crafty. He's not like an appy sort of Coruscant kind of guy, but he had a few really good darts. I thought, I was like, wow, okay, fucking where's this Reece Robson been? But on the flip side, Harry just had some poor ill discipline. That fucking shocker of a kick to Brian To'o's edge. Just right from the get-go, he just didn't, he's one of your more when Harry Grant's on, I feel like there's not many hookers that can kind of match it with him. He's ran it out his game pretty well, but I thought he was well and truly off the mark.
Yeah, he's obviously playing back from an injury, so I think he got one club game before he got selected.
Yeah, he did look undercooked.
Yeah, and also Ben Hunt's injured. So normally we have Ben Hunt run on, Harry comes on, runs, does his thing in tired sort of defense and whatnot. So this time he was the run on lad. Definitely, you guys definitely did a job at working him over in defense. He did a couple of silly things like that kick in the play the ball, just silly. Like why are we doing that sort of stuff? And you're right. When Reece did that first dart out of dummy half there, blew my mind. I was like, oh, this is fucked. If he's in a mood like this,
bloody cookie out there again. Yeah,
I was like, oh shit. Sort of, because that's one thing I thought where we had yous.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
just didn't have any creativity.
Reece Robson play. He's
great
give
player.
An 8 out of 10 in each Origin game. But he was just like, oh wow, okay, that's something I wasn't expecting. I certainly don't think Billy and Co were sort of expecting that. So ticking the box there for Loz for pulling that one out. Your bench, mate, because immediate impact. We didn't get to play him until the final 15 minutes. Connor Watson, my God, what if there was ever a time to pull a trigger on a utility, to come out and just keep the play alive? Zach Lomax miraculously gets the ball out, and then Connor eats it up, and then somehow just wills his way to get that ball popped up to Dill Edwards and crashes over to put the final dagger into the Queenslanders' hearts. Wow, I just thought, sitting there watching the game live, thinking, fuck, when's Loz going to put him out? It's getting to the 20-minute mark and going, fuck, is he going to play Connor? Is he just happy the way things are? He's just not going to get any minutes. But immediate injection, sparks a real enthusiasm. I thought he was really, really tidy. How did you guys feel with your bench? Hit the mark, maybe some questionable selections on the bench?
Yeah, Lindsay Collins is too old.
Really? You're going to call it on Lindsay? Wow.
I'll call it on Lindsay. I feel like Ethan Bullymore probably needs to get a run.
Fuck, that's a bit of a smoky. I've never even fucking heard his name mentioned.
Mate,
Really?
he having a absolutely great season for Manly. I think he could do a job. I like the Trent Lioro selection. I thought that was great. Solid. Didn't spark anything, but we didn't expect him to do anything. We just wanted
I
him
saw
to
a lot of
tackle.
criticism regarding fucking Trent Lioro.
Yeah, my criticism is with Fermor. And he's a good player, and he definitely deserves his spot. But I feel like when he got into the game, he didn't show us that debutant energy. Like, come on, make your announcement on this stage, sort of thing. So I feel like he didn't do that from our bench. Tommy did, and love him. I'll forever rue the day that the Broncos let him go. I think he's an absolute top-notch player. So happy with that selection and happy when he come on. But you're right, when Watson came on, I was like, shit, here we go. Mind you, he's probably offside from that kick. I'm gonna say he's offside from that kick. He shouldn't have been involved in the play, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, here we go. Clutching at fucking straws now, are we? Hey?
Just like that forward pass for your first try. The 2 forward passes, actually.
Bullshit. Well, Nanai was offside when he cleaned up Troll, mate. Go back and watch the tape, all right?
Clear as day. 2 feet behind.
So?
Never in doubt.
Is that so? No, you're right. Yeah, those other guys didn't really bring much energy. I tell you what, a guy that does bring fucking energy, and as I was saying, Kurt, my brother's a Raiders supporter, talking about it, Huddy Young, he just seems like this rugby league magnet where shit happens around him. He's just, I don't know what it is. He's just a goal, or it's just, I don't know. It's just in and around Hudson Young. I even said to Kurt, he's just one of those players, like, I bet you he'll run out there and, like, in the first fucking 10 seconds, you know what I mean? He'll just score a try, just some crazy shit like that. He just always seems to have something. He's always sniffing around for it. I thought he was really, really good. He didn't have, like, the huge highlight game, but I thought he added immediate impact, probably what you guys, as you were saying before, Tom, like, were missing from some of those players. You brought him in, you're hoping they were going to probably energize a pretty lethargic sort of
he's a double-edged sword, isn't he? Young.
Who's that, Huddy?
Definitely. He can definitely turn a game. He's got that energy. He's got that mongrel. But he trips a fine line for penalties and all that sort of stuff. He's real heart and mouth sort of stuff. So, we as Maroon supporters, go on, get energetic, get out there and, get an error. He forced that offload. I think in his first or second run. And I was like, okay, cool. This is good. Like, you're working for us sort of thing. But on the other flip side, if he's on your team, you want him there because he's so damaging. And I tell you what, I would bring in Corey Horsburgh to counteract old Huddy Young. Mate versus mate, state versus state. I reckon we get that out there in game 2 for sure. Shout out to Christopher there in your chat. Harry Grant has started 4 games for Queensland, lost all 4. Coming off the bench 6 times, Queensland has won all 6.
Interesting.
So that's Benny Hunt stuff.
Thank you for the beautiful segue. Now, Tom, as you were alluding to before, changes to the team that you want to see. Now, my job's very easy. I'm not making a single goddamn change. I'm not changing a thing, and why would you? Our boys performed really, really well. I thought the synergy was great. What more can you say? I feel like you keep this team together. Like Hainsey said, who knows? Might be in fucking dynasty areas here. I feel like just uber talent spread across the field, not changing a thing with the Blues. But you're in the room, mate. You're in the 4 walls with Billy Slater. Tell us, what moves do the Queenslanders need to make for Perth?
Right. So I'll run through it 1 through to 18. We're going to keep Ponga. We're going to keep Coates, Toya, and Hammer. When we get to that wing, number 5 there, that Val Holmes was occupying, I believe Murray Tulangi will be fit for game 2. So I think he comes straight in.
Okay.
Val stays in the squad, extended squad sort of whatnot there. Munster I want to keep. I feel like just looking at his club games leading up, the 4 games that he played before this, all of his averages spiked. His run meters went up, his involvements went up, everything sort of was trending in the right direction. So I feel like he's got it. I've put Dearden at 7. I rate Dearden highly to do a job in whatever position he gets put in. He's done it for Queensland. He's done it for the Cowboys. He's done it for the Broncos. I feel like he was a massive scapegoat when we had issues there a couple of years back. I'm going to give Mo another chance. I feel like that was a very off game for him. He will be filthy on himself and he'll come out firing, hopefully, in game 2. Grant, again, I don't think Benny Hunt's going to be fit for game 2, I believe. So it'll have to be Grant. Tino at 10, 11, even though I don't like, and this is where you get into your dynasty stuff, even though I don't like Cotter at 11, I feel like we have to play him there because of our depth. And he tackled all right. He did a great job. I think he was one of a few that had 100% tackle efficiency on the night. Nanai, great game. Hopefully he keeps that energy through the whole series. He's notorious for only having the highlight reels and then doing basically nothing else for the rest of the game. But I'm going to keep him there. Carrigan at 13. A lot of Broncos fans getting a bit of heat on Madge to put him back at lock in Clubland just because of the impact that he does have. Some are saying that he had a bit of a quiet night. I don't agree with that. He topped our tackle count. He did what he was doing. Yeah. Now 14 to replace Dearden there. I'm bringing in Kurt Mann. Who was going to play number 18. Yeah. I feel like he's a great little impact. Shore up that defense in the middle. Can play a number of positions.
Mate, that was always his biggest. It was his biggest strength and weakness of the Knights. He played so many positions, and you just couldn't lock one down, whether it was injury or suspension. He just got shifted around. He could never really settle. But yeah, much like Connor Watson, just a very versatile football player. So and tough as nails too. Fuck that guy. The amount of penis transplants that man's had from just tackling his dick off. He's a good one.
Bullymore now comes in for Lindsay Collins.
Okay.
I've left Fermor and Liero on the bench there. Just again, Liero was solid, and I just feel like Fermor he missed it. He missed a trick. So maybe if you want, you could probably start Fermor. Maybe bring Mo back to the bench. I don't, get it more impact, more of that transition. And then I've just dropped Arthur's in there at 18. I would like to know why Cobbo keeps getting overlooked, but there was that couple of years there where he would play Origin and then would have to have a week or two off from Clubland to recover. So I don't know what that's about. Obviously, I'm not in the four walls with Billy, so there is chat that they don't like each other. There's one side saying that that's absolute bullshit. Gordon Tallis got pretty passionate about it, where he's keen to name and shame the person who created that lie. If they don't come out and admit that it was a lie, sort of thing. So I mean, Tallis, the older he gets, the further he gets from
he really, I think he hates the fucking Broncos more than I do.
Mate, he's tarnished his own. He can blame Wayne Bennett for putting him on the bench in his last game.
Jesus,
but I think that's the team. And I feel like if they play to their potential, I've got no issues with them doing a job in Perth for sure.
All right, very good, very good. All right, we'll move on. Lou, did the battlers or thoroughbreds, do they have any questions for us? Is there anything that they're pondering that they want our great wisdom bestowed upon them? What do we got?
Tony's made a comment about all the Coke Zeros that Toto was drinking, and then I'm
on them too, mate. Hey, all the champions drink fucking Coke Zeros, pal.
Justin said, "Is Linc on the Brian Toto diet?"
Yeah, brother. Brian Toto's on my fucking diet.
No, but Justin said, I think the telling moment was when Queensland didn't kick to Spencer.
Fucking earth.
When he was coming down from the field and then kicked off to the other side.
Mate, I can't wait to hear Gordon Tallis's fucking opinions on this one. Tallis would have been a guy that would be like us not kicking the Tallis. You know what I mean? It's unforgivable. Queensland robbed Queenslanders and New South Welshmen of one of the great Origin moments. And I don't know why.
I know Willie Mason's blown up about it already.
Fucking oath. Absolutely. Yeah. I would bet that would be the case. In all honesty, though, you got to think, why? Surely the script was written. Surely all camp, he was a guy that going, right, we're going to take it to this bloke. We're going to set the fucking, this is, fucking our house, fucking blah, 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 blah. Kick it. You just fucking, especially Tino. Like, I'm sure Tino was out there. Like, I fucking love Tino. I don't know. I just would have thought, nah, fuck this. We're not taking this shit. Set the tone for the second.
Honestly, I do believe that it was just a bit of disrespect. Like, look, I don't like Spencer. rarely have, even when he was back in the Panthers sort of thing. And to see that, I laughed. Like, he's so amped, he's ready for it, and we just, nah, brother. And we just kick the other way. I feel like that's the greatest disrespect we could have done to him. And, game 2, I reckon we'll kick to him. But yeah.
You don't think Billy's going to make that same mistake twice?
I don't think it was a mistake.
It was a mistake, mate. Hey? All right. Let's agree to disagree on that one. All right. Was there anything else, Lou, that
I did have something, but I've just done a doozy and removed it. My bad. Sorry.
Oh, what was it? Sure you can remember it.
Nah. Gone. Sorry. I'm struggling here.
Was it why Queenslanders are cats? I'm sure that's the answer. Everyone's wanting. I'm sure when people are listening to this driving to work tomorrow, they're going, fucking ask him, why is he such a fucking cat?
Christopher's asked, hey, Linc, what did you think of Max King? I think he played well off the bench.
Absolutely. Rob Toyer, I think, they're pretty similar. Both debuts. Both of them can absolutely hang their heads high.
Yep.
He gave Laurie Daly no reason not to pick him again.
Yeah.
Again, it wasn't a game with massive highlights or anything like that for Max King. Let's actually take a look at Maxi King's statistics from the game.
I got a question for you after you finish with this one about team selections for game 2.
All right. 39 minutes for Max King, 12 runs, 106 run meters, 27 post contact, got the 2 tackle breaks, 21 tackles, 0 missed through the middle. Sensational. What more do you want? And I think shout out to NRL Odd Stats. I think Max King has the shortest name in Origin history. And shout out, this fucking blew my mind. Lou told me this last night. Do you know what Max King's son's name is?
Hercules.
Hercules King. Good luck tackling that kid.
Hey,
can you imagine a fucking bloke called, oh, mate, who are you marking up against? Oh, Hercules fucking King. What?
We're just going to glaze past that. A Maroon supporter knew more about your own players then, or what?
Oh, but why do you know the name of the infant child of Max King, mate? That's a bit weird. But
keep a keen eye on my enemies, mate.
Yeah,
that's all I do.
Well, you must do. Yeah, I was like, my God, what a name! Fucking Hercules King, great name.
He had a great
I
game.
thought he was really good. I thought he was really good. But yes, mate, what were you going to ask me?
Who are you shifting to bring in May?
Oh, you don't. No.
You don't?
No. No, there's got to be something going on. Like, let's be honest. What are the Roosters? Roosters re-sign him on what, a 3-year deal or something, and then what? Fucking 2 or 3 months later, he's out the fucking door because he doesn't fit their fucking culture, or it doesn't. Oh no, what was the word they used? He's not going to feature in our fucking future plans. You're like, what? Fucking 8 to 12 weeks ago, we fucking did.
Yeah,
I don't know. Something happened there, and then again. When you actually listen to what he said in the greater context, I know when you sort of clip it up and you play that short thing, it doesn't sound great. He shouldn't have said it. He absolutely shouldn't have said it. But when you kind of put it in the whole context, it was a bit of a tongue-in-cheek joke with his Queenslander mate. You're going to fucking whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But I don't know. There's just got to be, there has to be something. What's the old adage? Where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't know fucking Terrell May from a fucking bar of soap. But you think, well, this has happened with the Roosters, and now there's this snubbing in Origin, even though he's absolutely killing it for the Tigers. He's unequivocally one of the best fucking forwards in the comp at the moment. It's got to be like a personality thing, an attitude thing, and Laurie's just like, nah, fuck that smoke. I don't need it. And then you look at a guy like Max King, who seems like real clean cut, fucking, respectable kind of a guy, and that's sort of seem very different guys. And Loz like, nah, that's kind of like Max King reminds me like of your Jake Trbojevic type sort of dude. There's got to be something. I'm sure Loz would have had some conversation with Trent, just going, hey, brother, why did you fuck this guy off to the Tigers pretty quickly after you just gave him a fucking huge deal? It's got to be. There has to be something. We'll probably never know. We'll probably never know why. But
it's 3 games a year, and to come out the reason why they should have just shut up and never just said, look, we just didn't select him. Simple as that. But when you come out and say, oh, he's got tackle deficiencies, and he's the number one ranked tackler prop in the game, like, come on.
Yeah,
seriously.
No one's buying that. I agree with you. We didn't handle it great. The optics, around it was certainly they didn't handle that side particularly well. But it's just got to be that. It's just got to be like, nah, this guy's just.
And it's just real awkward now because you're one injury away from basically calling him in. Because like, what's your depth there? Like if Payne goes down, with a quad,
it'll be Jacob Saifidi. I said it before. Weeks leading up to it, the battlers will fucking go on to bat for me here. He was averaging 200 roam meters a game, coming back from calf injury. Again, not a massive sample size, but whenever he was called upon by Freddie, it's one thing that the Newcastle Knights players always do for the Blues, whether it's Brady or the Saf boys. They make fucking immediate impact. They're point scorers. JSAF's always done a job when it comes to Origin football. He was coming back with some real fucking good form. He moved the fucking needle for us big time for the Knights. I think Max King, cover your eyes, Winston, and your ears. I think Max only would have got his shot because JSAF, unfortunately, re-aggravated that calf injury. Because, bro, he was playing fucking sensational. Like, and I think Laurie would have really wanted another guy in the building that has been there before, done it, could trust him, opposed to maybe chucking in a debutant. Even though Max King well and truly deserved his shot, I feel like, if there's going to be some injuries, I don't know. I'll have to have a look and see what JSAF's prognosis is. He might even be fit for game 2. But if
that's
he was
what I mean.
healthy,
like
he'd be there.
That's what I mean. If he's not healthy and Haas goes down, I mean, you nearly have to pick May.
I'm sure they'd probably have to.
I know Stefano's there, but I'd rather Stefano run on for you guys than May for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like he's a player that Queenslanders of all were going, oh, thank fuck.
Yeah.
You're not playing Haas and then fucking Barney and going, oh, thank Christ, who's coming on? Oh, shit, it's fucking Errol May. Like, it's just relentless. They'd probably have to swallow their pride a bit and just go, you know what? And who knows? Maybe they did settle some shit. You know, there probably have been some private conversations between Laurie Daly and Terrell May to try and, put it to bed and move forward and go, mate, these are the things I need to see from you and blah, blah, blah. And whatever, because there's still that little bit of a Penrith connection in it. There's still plenty of Penrith players sprinkled in the Blues team, and Terrell being an ex-Panthers player as well. So, there's a little bit of connection there.
Don't get me wrong, that family's a little bit weird. So
that's what I'm saying.
I'm not doubting there's something there.
There's definitely some smoke around that fucking building, pal. Yeah. So,
but I mean, if he wears a tinfoil hat, who cares?
Yeah.
You got to have a little bit of crazy in your team.
Oh, fuck yeah, you do. Absolutely.
And we lack that. We lack a little bit of crazy. I know. I thought Tino was going to go a bit crazy, seeing him tearing up at the national anthem at the start there. I was like, holy shit, big boy's in for a game. But unfortunately, we couldn't give him the platform.
Tino's such a good player. Does it annoy you? Does it annoy you when you see great, talented players stuck on the fucking Titans team? They're never going to fucking win fuck all. They have no supporters, and they play for a town that couldn't give two shits about rugby league. And you're thinking, oh, mate, just go somewhere where you're revered, where people love you. I don't know. Like, I hate fucking Tino because he's a Queenslander, but at the same time, I think he's such a brilliant fucking football player. What was it? Did you hear the thing that they did where they put a survey out to all the coaches, and it was something like 80% of them. It was ridiculous. It was an overwhelming majority said if you had to build a team and everyone was a free agent, who's the first fucking player you sign? And it was like 80% of head coaches like, oh, it's fucking Tino, like immediately.
Yeah, the smartest play I think the Titans have ever done is sign Tino.
Yeah.
There's a few up there, of course, that you could say would be just as good. But Tino, from a culture point of view, is just immense. And like they kind of owe him. I don't know if he'll leave. And I'll take my hat off to him if he doesn't. Like it's kind of like Ponga staying at the Knights. You've got everything. You just need stuff around you to happen. You can't just carry a team. It was what the Cowboys lacked for quite some time there with Thurston. They had Thurston. They just didn't have everything around him to sort of bring it all together. And then once they did, they had Morgan and all that working a high click, and they got the glory in there. So the Titans are that far off a premiership window, even slightly getting a crack. Hats off to him if he stays. I know our salary cap's fucking stretched. So there's no chance of him coming up the road, that's for sure. But who knows where he'd go? Might go to Perth.
Oh, God, could you imagine what money he'd make at Perth? Might be the first $2 million fucking dollar player. I'm surprised, even off a fucking ACL injury. All right, what else?
Yeah, you can see he meant a lot.
Tony has asked, what do you think of moving Hammer back to fullback?
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
How's he been going for the Dolphins? I haven't really kept tabs on the Dolphins.
Great. Yeah, he's not lighting it up. He's certainly scoring. I mean, the Dolphins are going well, but there was a period there where he wasn't going so well and they were struggling as well. But I could definitely do that. That would mean that the chance of Cobbo coming in would probably increase, I think. You take out that center role, you'll need someone to come in there. So not that Cobbo is the greatest center either, but you could shift Val in or something. But
would you ever consider if you don't roll the dice on DCE and Billy's like, nah, it's do or die, I'm going to pull the trigger, and I'm with you. I think Tommy Dearden's definitely next in line. If DCE, even if through injury or whatever, he's not there, he's your 7. Yeah, would you KP's fucking done pretty well for you as a 14. That's just immediate impact play. Just park that Ferrari in the garage and get him out there fucking last 20, just fucking cut loose, and you just play, maybe keep Hammer that pace. Because as I said, like that's the one thing, that's the one thing I feel like Queenslanders have on us at the moment is just we don't have that out and out speedster. Like just, in the past we've had guys like Fox or James Roberts, that were just uber fast, but we sort of don't have that in this squad. We've got big physical players, Zach Lomax, great under the high ball, and, Brian Toto, as we spoke about before, but none of those real, Ryan Pappenhausen type, just speeds to play. And I feel like, you might get some joy running a bit of shape with, if you can get Hammer in just a little bit of space, he can, if he's not going through, he's certainly going to get the ball to someone in and around him. As defenders try and close the gap and give him no space. So,
yeah, I don't know. I like a bit of a headache because Ponga did play the way that he did. He didn't play terribly at all.
No.
So I mean, the Hammer is pretty dangerous out there on that center. If you get Ponga into good ball, he can get Hammer into the space he needs. But then a Hammer sniffing around the center there from an offload from Tino or something like that is pretty sneaky as well. And if Harry Grant plays well, Hammer sniffing around his hip, on one of those cheeky little darts he likes to do.
Like we did Tommy Turbo. Give him that roaming license. The infamous roaming license that, that get handed out during Origin. You just go, mate, give me the Tommy Turbo fucking go to the Tommy Turbo school of roaming around the Origin arena. Go get your license, and then just you can have a bit of a sniff around the middle, maybe.
Turbo time.
It's turbo time.
There it is.
Come on, get the ball. No.
Nah, I feel Hammer hasn't got the frame to do that, I feel. Turbo was a big fella, had a bit of a bump on him, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. Could work, but I wouldn't be pushing that button for sure.
All right. What else we got? We'll take a couple more.
Said we need to get Fletcher Sharp into the Blues for pure speed stuff.
Oh, good call, Justin. Mate, there's the fucking dynasty, pal. There's the dynasty, mate. Fucking Razor Sharp. Oh, it's only a matter of time, mate. It's only a matter of time. Razor Sharp. Someone was asking me about, and do you know who else we got coming through? And you better have your fucking butt cheeks fucking clenched for this, Tommy, is when fucking Dill Lucas makes his debut, mate. It's fucking game over for you, pal.
Lincoln has a foot fetish for him.
It's growing. It's growing. We're raising money. I'm trying to get a crowdfunder thing. We give the man a pedicure every single week. He's got the best feet in rugby league for a big fella. And Origin, mate, is just the next level for Dylan Lucas. And I locked it in early, and I went on public record to say Dylan Lucas will play Origin football. And, I had some criticism. People go, mate, you're fucking crazy, blah, blah, blah. Some quality players in front of him. But then your Mitchell Pearce has started coming out, and a few other pundits jumped on the bandwagon. And went, well, fucking Linc locked that shit in first. Don't forget it. Time stamped. I think it was about a month or two before anyone else was. So
He won't let you forget it.
Right. That's a really good shout, Justin. Razor sharp. Good luck fucking catching him, pal. He's got. Could you just close your eyes, Justin? Imagine him in a fucking Blues jersey. Him linking up with Dill Lucas. One of the great memories, Tom. And it breaks my heart. I love seeing New South Wales go so well, but there's a part of me that dies inside when you're sitting there cheering. And there's like, fuck, there's no Knights out there. I loved it when you had Brady and the Safs, but cast my minds back to the golden era of rugby league. I know rugby league's in a really, really good spot, but fuck, the early 2000s when the Blues had Bedsy, Joey, BK, fucking Steve Simpson, Gidley, fucking Tahu. It was just the Knights made such a massive part of the Blues, and I yearn for those days. But I feel like, the Razor Sharps and the fucking Dill Lucases are going to be the next era. As Hainsey said, we're building a dynasty, and these guys are just going to carry that fucking torch and bury the Queenslanders even more.
Dynasty's not for everyone, mate.
Joanne said, talking of cats with our cat talk earlier, why are coaches, management teams letting off-field issues get in the road of fielding a winning team?
Why are coaches, management teams letting off-field issues getting in the road of fielding a winning team?
Is that a shade throw at the Cobbo Slater, potentially?
Who knows? Or Terrell May. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's always surprised me in rugby league how much shit stays under wraps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, mate.
You know what I mean? It's so surprising. There's so many things that don't, there's plenty of stuff that does get leaked, but then there's so much that you don't ever really find out, or you don't get the full story, or you get a version of the truth.
Man, I'm a fan of the Broncos. What do you think I have to deal with every single year?
Yeah, true.
We got the largest rug in NRL.
I don't know, mate. It's probably not as bad now, but yeah, when the Johns boys were cut loose and fucking you, mate, there's a fucking bumpy old rug down in Newcastle too. Don't you worry. Plenty of shit fucking swept under there, pal.
I don't think they use a broom in Townsville here for the controversies that come out of the mad cow.
Yeah, you were telling me something. I was fucking blown away. I guess talk about out of sight, out of mind. You can probably run amok a little bit up there a bit.
You definitely can. It'd be the same as Newcastle, though.
I feel
out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, a little bit. I guess so, more so Townsville, because you're really fucking. They'd have to be the most isolated fucking team in the comp. Like they really, really are pretty much like unlike I suppose the Warriors to a degree would be too. Also, so I tell you what, the Perth Bears might be able to run an absolute fucking muck. It might be by the time the Telegram gets to us over here on the east. Fucking who knows what's happened over there.
Nah, mate. The AFL will be keeping tabs on those boys. They'll be digging up every single controversy they can.
Buzz will be getting tipped off by the fucking West Coast Eagles. Oh, great. I've just got this email. The West Eagles, they're not happy about the Bears, mate, and I'll tell you why. Okay? They're bloody like Queenslanders. They're all cats. Spencer Lenu, I'm telling you, mate, everyone was so excited to see Spencer run off the back fence, but Billy, the little bitch. Oh, God.
You're making it sound like it was Billy's choice.
Hey? Oh, of course it was, mate. Billy's radio in. Hey?
Would Buzz actually swear?
Oh, shit, yeah. Yeah, when he was at Caxton Street, he was tearing shit up around those Portaloos. He was having a fucking ball. Buzz, yeah, fucking oath.
Calling everyone a cat?
Oh, yeah. Give me a beer, you cat. All right. Very good. All right, Tom, I think we learned it. Oh, hang on, one more. One more from Justin. Sorry. What do you got? Sneak one in. Last question, Justin.
Have you got a favorite state of origin jersey from the years that we've blessed to have this amazing series?
Great question. All right, I'm going to let you kick this one off. What's your favorite Maroons jersey?
1991.
What was your sponsor? What was that? Is that semicircle logo one you got? Was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know the one. Horizontal fucking.
Hey, the horizontal white lines.
Yeah,
across the chest.
Yeah.
Got the horizontal white lines across the sleeve as well.
Yep.
And then the half moon sort of.
Is there another one? You must have a couple. Give me your top three.
Oh, yeah. So it'd be 91 easily, and then it'd have to be.
Good year.
I don't mind the late 2000s, simple sort of one, and then I haven't really minded the ones that they're running out now with, to be honest.
Man, I hadn't looked at them a lot, and then getting around Suncorp, the Blues one, I was like, ooh,
Yeah, I
like
like them. I think they're great.
Yeah, I feel like they can. There was a period. The one thing I don't like. There was the Blues jerseys through like the early 2000s. We went really white. Yeah, you had the white unders, and it was VB.
Yeah.
VB should never have been a fucking sponsor. That just looked fucking terrible. That was shit.
It was a terrible beer anyway.
Fuck that right off. But my favorites, I really love the one I was getting around in. Just those 94s. You had the big fucking Tui's badge, the diamond Tui's patches. Fucking love those, Justin. This one, the 97 Cattle Dog. Fucking love this one. Always think of Tommy. I feel like I'm wearing a little bit of Tommy Raudonikis. I'm channeling a little bit of Tommy energy. Always love this kit. Number three. I'm going to go with the 2005 Joey one, the PlayStation 2 wizard at the front. Joey having the greatest rugby league fucking performance on a state of origin field that there's ever been. Still gives Queenslanders nightmares. Tom even. I hope you don't mind me saying this, Tom. On more than one occasion, Tom will ring me up and I need to talk him down because he's had a nightmare about 2005. Even though it's been 20 fucking years, they still have nightmares about Joey absolutely fucking coming back and torching the battlers. So,
Then I tucked myself in and just, 1995. Beautiful year, that one.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't as good as 10 years later, pal. Wasn't as good as 10 years later. Now, great question, Justin. Fucking on point, mate. On point. Oh, well, that'll wrap up the very first Origin Autopsy. We've sliced it and diced it. We've made our diagnosis. We've come to the rugby league coroners and we've just pretty much said, your forwards sucked. They're cats because they didn't want to run at fucking Spencer Leniu. And there might be some selection. So it's going to be a very interesting review. We're going to do a review show too, aren't we? We're going to do a review.
Yeah, why not?
Preview. Sorry,
preview.
Not a fucking review. A preview. Sorry, we'll do an Origin preview before each 1-2 battlers. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that one. But huge thanks to you, Tommy. Appreciate it, mate.
No worries, mate. I've got pretty big confidence that next time we do this, the turns will be tabled.
The turns will be tabled,
and I'll be yippee yeah all over this place.
Well, I'm waiting for you here, pal. You fucking don't go kicking the other direction, mate. You come fucking straight at me, pal. I'm waiting. Kick it to me.
No worries. No worries.
Huge shout out. Again, if you do have maybe, I've got plenty of them, an idiot friend that loves the Broncos. Send them on over to the Penalty Broncos podcast. How many episodes you drop in a week now, pal?
We're still at one. We're just doing the one sort of review, half preview on a Monday.
Yep.
But we will be kicking off an NRLW segment that should be dropping on a Wednesday when the girls kick off. Going for we're going undefeated this year. I can feel that in my loins. So we'll be doing that. And then we do drop occasionally a stable chat where we sort of just, if there's any big breaking news, but that's pretty random, but look out for that. And we're on TikTok, Instagram and Facebook.
Well, just like Ezra Mammon and Uber, make sure you head over there and go smash that fucking subscribe button, Battlers, or your Penalty Broncos content.
Wow.
Hey?
Oh, he went there.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
There you go. I got to fucking get that one in here. All right. Huge shout out to all the Battlers and Thoroughbreds. Thank you for tuning in tonight, and keep your eyes and ears peeled again while we do the preview for Game 2. That'll about do us, Battlers. We're getting the Adam O'Brien out of here. We'll catch you on the next one, hey?
Catches.